Hi everybody, it's Austin. I'm at home, and you are too. I'm here to talk about great genre-specific books that you can find in our library catalog and in our online collections that are just waiting for you to check them out. Today I'd like to recommend a few young adult graphic novels about DC superheroes. All of the books I'm going to talk about are currently available on Hoopla and as physical copies through DTDL. I'm going to start on the cartoony side and move toward the grittier stuff. Okay, so first is Shadow of the Batgirl. This is a brand new origin story about one of the most popular Batgirls, Cassandra Cain. This one hits a lot of notes that you would expect in a Bat family story. A combat-trained youth with a mysterious past, groups of ninjas, secretly evil rich guys, epic acrobatics, etc. And get this, most of it takes place inside a library, so bonus points for that. As this is a Batgirl comic intended for teenagers and young adults, please note, there is violence here. The violence, however, is a little underplayed and overshadowed by the light, minimal, and fun art style, just to give you another hit of that. There are also other Batgirl comics on Hoopla, and I recommend you find them because Batgirl is a really underappreciated character. Speaking of Batgirl, next is The Oracle Code. This story stars Barbara Gordon, who is usually cast as the most famous Batgirl and the most popular one. In the DC Universe mythology, Barbara's story usually involves her retiring from being Batgirl after losing the loss of her legs in some sort of accident or violent attack. She always returns, however, as a super intelligent computer hacker named Oracle. In this story, Barbara's accident happens when she's a teenager. She's never Batgirl in this timeline. She then uncovers a dark secret with her friends while undergoing therapy at the Arkham Center for Independence in Gotham City. Now, of all the books I'll recommend to you today, this one is probably the least superhero-ish, but DC Comics has a huge catalog of heroes who are more akin to detectives, spies, hackers, and their stories are just as good and a lot of times better. Next, I have two quick shoutouts to two different books starring the same character, Wonder Woman. The first is a graphic novel adaptation of the DC fiction novel, Wonder Woman Warbringer, wherein Diana, Princess of the Amazons, finds herself defending a new friend, the last descendant of Helen, of Trojan War infamy, who is evidently destined to start the next Grey War. The main themes here are friendship and justice, which are almost always the big themes in a Wonder Woman story. Another big idea here is the unfortunate social habit of people blaming young women for things that are not their fault. The next is Tempest, and it's written by the famous young adult author Laurie Halse, who wrote things like Speak and Winter Girls, etc. In this, Diana expects to become an Amazon warrior on her 16th birthday, but on the day of her birthday, a giant storm brings in refugees from the outside world that the Amazonian government refuses to shelter. And Diana is swept out to sea when she defies her elders to try to help the refugees. This is a very timely story about immigration, social responsibility, fighting injustice, and finding strength inside yourself when you need it. Finally is the grittiest book I have to recommend today, Harley Quinn, Breaking Glass by Mariko, Tamaki, and Steve Pugh. In this story, Harley Quinn is 15 years old and is sent to school in Gotham City. There she gets caught up in a struggle between the diverse and impoverished people of Gotham and the corporations that want to change their ways of life. However, she finds herself torn between two different ways of fighting back. Should she support her new best friend, Ivy, and her organized protest against gentrification, or should she join forces with the anonymous and violent Joker? The style is just very realist. The colors are very muted and dark and severe, and it depicts a lot of physical and social violence. That being said, it's very good. It isn't racking up all the awards for nothing. So, that is my first round of recommendations for DC Comics written for teens and young adults. There are a lot of other ones, and a lot of them are new. To place holds for any of these books or any others in our catalog, check out our website at dtdl.org. You may be interested in our new BookMatch service, where you provide us with your personal reading interests, and we provide you with a curated list of recommendations. Thanks, guys. Keep reading. I'll see you next time.